Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Desktop Central training. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining the webinar in your busy schedule today. Before we proceed further, I would like to check whether you all can hear my voice and view the presentation. It would be great if you all can confirm by commenting in the chat. So I'll be waiting for your confirmation. Please do confirm in the chat so that we can proceed. Okay, thank you all for confirmation. So let me introduce myself. My name is Abraham Zibaraj, and I have 5 years of IT industry experience. So I'll be the presenter for this session today, and I'm going to demonstrate about remote control. So let's have a quick look at the training schedule. As you all know, this is 7 weeks training series, and we are in 4th week of the training now. And all the training videos will be recorded and it can be easily accessed in the below mentioned website. So desktopcenter.com training.html. If you want to download it, you can make use of this. Even all registered participants will also receive this recorded training videos through email. Okay. Right. So today's topic is remote control. Before we start training, I would like to share the agenda of today. So we'll first start with the overview of remote control and we'll see how it works in the background. Followed by that, we'll discuss on the uses of remote control and other related tools in Desktop Central with few real-time examples. So first, we'll see how Helpdesk technician can use remote control for installing Adobe Acrobat application and also troubleshoot on Wi-Fi issues. Second, I have taken most common issues in PC, which is system slowness. So let us see how we can use tools in Desktop Central to troubleshoot on this. The third, in an organization, enforcing IT policies on desktops is very much important. So we will see how Desktop Central can be used here. And finally, we'll see how we can use Desktop Central to alert the users in an emergency situation, like your Microsoft Exchange server is down. Followed by that, we'll be discussing on a few other interesting scenarios and solutions that we came across in our support experience. So during the training, if you guys have any questions, feel free to use the chat option. We have an expert panel available here who will answer your questions. So we'll also discuss on few commonly asked questions by the end of this presentation, which will be used for you. So let's move on and supported operating systems. So Desktop Central Remote Control supports all 3 major operating systems: Windows, Macintosh, and Linux. So let's have a quick look on the architecture of Desktop Central first. So Desktop Central is an on-premises solution, and also this is a client-server-based application. So agents should be installed on the client machine to be managed. So in Desktop Central, we can manage desktops, laptops, servers, and even Surface devices. So agents can be installed using multiple ways. So here are the 3 ways. So from the console, you can push the agent to the client machines, or you can download and install the agent manually. Also, you can install agents using Windows PTO startup script. So if you are using Active Directory in your Windows network, you should be able to leverage that here for deploying the agent. So here you can also manage machines in LAN and WAN network using a distribution server. So what is distribution server? So for example, if you are managing more than 10 machines in a remote site, if you have concerns with bandwidth, then you can use this distribution server option. So what is the use of it? So when a patch or a software task is created for a machine which are located in this remote office site, so the client machines will not directly contact the Desktop Central server to download the patches. So instead, only your distribution server will reach the Desktop Central server and it will download the required patches or packages and store them here. And whenever it is required, these patches or software packages will be distributed to the client machines in that remote office. So this feature will help you to manage the bandwidth efficiently. So that's an added advantage. And even roaming users who move from one location to another location can also be managed by Desktop Central. So to achieve this, you can enable matching on a firewall or you can place your desktop central server directly in a DMZ. So I presume everybody knows about DMZ. So it is where you can place your server in secure hosting, so that the client machine can reach the server in a secure way. Okay. So if you have any constraints in placing your desktop central server, your main desktop central server in DMZ directly, then you can utilize this component called forwarding server. So forwarding server acts as a secure gateway server between the roaming agents, our users, and the desktop central server, so which is your main desktop central server. So any communication from the roaming agents to the desktop central server will be routed only through this forwarding server. So this makes the communication more secure. Okay, right. So Azure and AWS Marketplace. So you also have option to place desktop central server in AWS or Azure. So there are advantages placing your server in cloud. For example, if you're managing more roaming users, having the server in a cloud will be an advantage. So it is also a cost-effective solution. So for example, if you're placing your server in cloud, and you can avoid the hardware infrastructure and its maintenance cost. So if you're a managed service provider, then it will be an added advantage. So you can easily manage the customer's computer, multiple customers' computers using this cloud easily. So Desktop Central will be available in cloud very soon. So for now, we have released only another cloud for another ManageEngine product, which is Patch Manager Plus. Okay. So these are all the components used by Desktop Central. So we have already discussed about the server, agent, distribution server, and forwarding server. But the notification server, as you see here, this is also an essential component. So notification server is another component which plays an important role in any on-demand task and in tools like remote control, especially. So we'll discuss about this in detail later. So next, failover server. So this failover server brings an additional server to your network, so which will actively monitor the primary server, and it takes over the charge when the primary server fails. So this feature helps you in eliminating the downtime in your system. So that is also an added advantage for you to make use of that. So here are the posts used by Desktop Central. So we would recommend you to open the posts shown here in order to use the features of Desktop Central. So for example, this voice and video call is one of the important features associated with this product, which works in UDP port, which is 8443. And even agent server communication happens in 8020, and server to agent notification happens in TCP port, which is 8027. Even agent server secure communication can happen through this port 8383, which is HTTP secure. To know more about this post, please visit the below website, desktopcentral.com posts. Okay, 90 minutes refresh policy. So Desktop Central architecture is scalable to manage even larger networks up to 20,000 missions. So this is feasible or possible because of the refresh policy that we use. So what is this refresh policy? So how it works? So let me explain this in simple terms. So Desktop Central agents will contact the server at every 90 minutes. So this is called the agent refresh cycle. So this feature ensures that all the computers in the network contact the server periodically. Right? The two important factors are ensured here. First, the network is not choked by the agent communication, meaning bandwidth is not disturbed due to the agent server communication. And second, most importantly, the performance of the server itself is not affected at any time. So Desktop Central server has an intelligence to ensure systematic streamlined communication from all agents to server at regular intervals. For example, in a network of 90 computers, one computer will reach out the Desktop Central server every minute, as you see in this diagram. So if it is going to be 900 computers, 10 computers will reach the server per minute. And also, if it is going to be a larger network like 9,000 computers, 100 computers will reach the desktop center server. So using this feature, agents can communicate the server without any hesitation. Okay, so till now we have discussed about the general architecture of Desktop Center. So now let's move on and discuss about the functionalities of remote control and other related tools. So to explain this better, I have taken 4 real-time examples, so as we discussed in the agenda. So let's move on and we'll discuss on one by one. So here's the first real-time example that I have taken, which is resolving helpdesk ticket. So in this, we'll see how a helpdesk technician can use the remote control feature to help the user, any user, and resolve the ticket. So let's assume the end user, Bob, an employee of an organization, submits the ticket through FTP helpdesk portal. So the ticket has 2 requests. So infilling Adobe Acrobat application and Wi-Fi connectivity not working. So this ticket is assigned to a helpdesk technician called John. Okay. So for better understanding, let's assume myself as John, and I'll show you how John is going to troubleshoot on this and help the user Bob using remote control. So I'm moving back to the console. So here I'm going to log in as Jonathan. Okay, so I have successfully logged in. And so now I need to search for Bob's computer. So for which I can go to the tools section and I can go to remote control option here. So this will automatically list all the computers in which I have the agents installed, and also I can see the users currently logged in. Okay. So for now I know the username is Bob, so I'm going to search for the computer which Bob is using. So I can use the search option here. So using this, I can straight away type the Bob's username here. So here is the machine that Bob is using. Okay, right. So as you see here, this computer is used by 2 users currently, Bob and an administrator. Okay. So but I need to troubleshoot only on Bob's user session. So how can I do that? So for that, I can use this icon right next to the connect button. So using this, I'll be able to see the available users on my computer. So I can click on connect so that the end users, the remote control will be initiated. Okay, before that, let me explain a few important points that you need to understand before you initiate a remote session. First, prompt the user for confirmation. So as name implies, this feature is for requesting permission from the end user before you connecting to his computer. So if you enable this and if you click on connect, there will be a message sent to the user and he needs to click on yes or deny so that only then he will be able to connect to this remote session. Okay, so for now I'm unchecking this. So also we have this viewer option available here. So we do support 2 viewers here, HTML5 viewer and ActiveX viewer. So HTML5 viewer is more browser friendly and even more faster compared to ActiveX. So for now I'm going to use this HTML5 viewer. Okay, let's move on and I'm going to connect to Bob's session now. So I'm searching here, I'm clicking on the Bob's session. Okay, here we go. So here is another important feature. So this is asking me to type the reason as well as the ticket number in which Bob has reported me this issue. Okay, so I know the ticket number now. Tapping this. Right. So I also need to type a reason. So I already have the reason typed here. So I'm typing the reason here. So this is regarding the ticket raised by Bob, which has 2 requests. So I'm clicking on connect. So within a matter of few seconds, it will automatically initiate the remote session. Here we go. So now I'm able to see 2 screens now. So which means Bob, the end user, is using 2 screens. So in case we have an option to even toggle between the multiple screens. So if the user has even more screens, you have an option to see them on the screen, same screen. So I'm clicking on a screen now. So, right. So most importantly, on the left-hand side, you have this option here. So you have an option to change the layouts of the monitor that you're viewing here. So I can choose vertical layout or horizontal layout, or I can use this option where I can see both the screens at the same time. Even I can move the window from one screen to another screen using this option. So this is also an advantage here. let me choose the first computer, first screen now. So here is another important feature here. So the end user will be able to see a small icon about understanding who is controlling his computer. So it will now showing the technician name as Jonathan here. So the end user will be aware of this information. Okay. Next, on the left-hand side, we have a few other options available for easier troubleshooting and navigation. So let me walk you through this quickly. So first option, we call this as view. So in which we have this option to change the size of the window, the remote control window. So if you want to have this as an actual size or full screen mode, if you want to refresh it, I can use this option. So for now, I can go for this full screen mode. Okay. Right. So next is this settings option here, action tab. So sorry, we can call this as an action tab here. So we have a lot more shortcuts available here. You can, if you want to control alt delete shortcut, you can use this alt tab. Blacken monitor option is available. If you want to blacken the end user monitor, you can use it. So disabling input. So if you wanted to prevent the end user from using the keyboard or mouse, you can use this. If you want to use client's keyboard, you can use it. Or even view only mode option can also be used here. So you can take a snapshot using this tool. Okay. And next is this quick launch option, in which you have few other more shortcuts like command prompt. So you can directly invoke a command prompt from here instead of accessing the command prompt from the start menu. So not only command prompt, you have a lot more features here like control panel, device manager, display settings, and all that. Okay, right. So even power options are available to reboot the computer directly here, shut down, all that. So even admin tasks are available. Okay. So again, file transfer option can be used to transfer any files to the end user's computers. And even chat option can be invoked directly from the remote control. And then we have a new feature called hotkeys. So this is just for typing any shortcut keys here. So as soon as I click on hotkeys here, I'll be able to see a small panel here. So I can click on any option here. So using which, if I wanted to invoke any shortcut, I can directly click on R. So it will automatically provide me the window. So this is a new feature introduced. Okay, so for now I'm closing this. Okay, so let's come back to the scenario here. So now Bob has raised two requests. One is for installing Adobe Acrobat application. So I have the setup file in my network share. So I need to access the network share so that I can copy the file to my Bob's computers to install this application. Okay, so since this is a confidential network share, I wanted to blacken the monitor of the end user so that the end user will not see the network share that I'm accessing. Okay, so before I use this, so I need to take permission from the end user Bob so that I want to keep Bob informed that I'm blackening this monitor. So for this, I can use this text chat option here. So So I'm going to type a message and I'm going to ask permission from Bob here. Okay. So I'm going to wait for a reply from Bob. There we go. So Bob has replied. So now I'm going to blacken his monitor. Okay. So I can use this option and I can blacken his monitor. So as soon as I click on blacken monitor, so I will get a small prompt here. So just for my notification. So now I can close the chat window, right? And next, I will be using this quick launch option to launch the Windows Explorer here. So using this option, I can directly launch the Windows Explorer. And here comes another feature, okay? So whenever there is a screen opening in another screen, other than the screen that I'm currently working on, so I'll be able to see a small notification. So here is the notification, so which will tell me like there is a window open on a new screen. So I can switch back to the new screen and I can access it. Okay, so now I'm going to access the network share. Okay, so I'm clicking on here. and accessing my network share. Okay, let me delete that first. Okay, here we go. So I'm accessing my network share here. Okay, so this is my network share. So where I have all the installation files. Okay, this program is totally copied now. Okay, so now I can close this network share and I can go ahead and install the application. So I can double click and I can install this application. Right, so I have successfully installed the application now. So now I need to apply the license file to complete this installation. So I need to know, so this license file is available in my local computer. So I need to transfer that to Bob's computer now, for which I'm going to use this file transfer option. So I can click on this file transfer option, which will pop up a small window, and it will ask me to choose the source location of the file and the destination location. So the destination is going to be the Bob's desktop, and source is going to be my location where I have this file. So I'm going to transfer this file to Bob's computer now. Okay, so the file has been successfully transferred now. Okay, where's the file? Okay, here it is. In the first screen, I have this file. So I can apply this license file after installation, and I'm completing the request one. So request one is for installing the Adobe Acrobat application. I have successfully completed that. Okay, so next, the request number 2. So Bob is unable to use the Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi connectivity is a problem here. So I need to troubleshoot on that. So I have a few limited knowledge on that. So I tried to troubleshoot on the network adapter level. So what I'm able to fix this issue. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to seek help from one of my senior technicians. His name is Peter. So I'm going to seek his help to assist me on the second issue. Okay. So I'm calling Peter. Also, he agrees to join the session. And so let's see how 2 technicians can share the same screen and troubleshoot on the issue. Okay. So for better understanding, I'm logging in as Peter in a new browser. For better understanding here. Okay. Sorry. Let me open this again. Okay. Here we go. So now again, Peter is going to use his tools options and remote control, and he's going to search for Bob's computer. So in this here, I'm going to search for Bob here. Okay. So now Peter is able to see the option called View Desktop. The reason is there is an active session already running. Okay. So he can directly click on View Desktop, and automatically Peter will be able to see the same screen that Jonathan is viewing. And before that, he will also have a small pop-up on his screen that already another user is sharing this desktop. Okay, we can click on yes. So Peter is viewing his computer. Okay, we can switch back and monitor and all that. So this is just a notification. Okay, right. And here, since the screen has already been blackened for the end user, I will just get a notification here as well. I can close this here. And now another important option here is, for the second user, the second technician who's connecting to the remote session, the permission level will be only view only mode. So he needs to manually go ahead and request for an active mode. So Peter is going to click on this active mode. So now it is showing me that we can control the desktop. So now Peter can control the computer completely, and he's going to use this in quick launch options again here, and he's going to use this device manager option, and he's going to troubleshoot on the device. The device drivers, he's going to reinstall the drivers. So obviously that fixes this issue. Okay, right. So now Peter is fixing this issue, and he is logging out from his session now. And one thing that you can note here is that, so since two users, the 2 technicians are sharing the screen, you can also see 2 icons here. So this is just for the notification. Right. So now Peter is logging out here. Okay, so now Jonathan is live on this remote session. So Peter has told me that he has fixed this issue, and now I'm going to request Bob to reboot his computer to apply this fixes completely. Right. So I'm going to seek permission from Bob for that. Okay, before that, I have disabled, I have blackened the monitor before, so I need to revoke the monitor. So I have revoked this monitor successfully now. So now I'm going to initiate a new chat and going to tell the Bob that we have fixed this issue and we're going to need permission to reboot the computer. Okay, so I have this, right? So I'm going to type this message. So I'm going to wait for Bob's confirmation to reboot the PC. Right. So assume that Jonathan, the Bob has this reply yes. So now I'm going to reboot the computer. So how can I reboot? So instead of using the conventional way, like using the start menu, I can use this quick launch option again, in which I have this power options. So in this power options, I'll be able to see the log off option, the reboot option, reboot in safe mode, shutdown, and all that. So for now, if I wanted to reboot, I can just click on reboot. So it will automatically reboot the machine and it will reconnect. So the advantage here is it will reboot and reconnect to the existing session. Okay, so that's all. So for now, so we have seen how remote control can be used practically and what are all the options available in the remote control window. Okay, so let me close this session. And so far, okay, so this is another feature, important feature here. Okay, so this will ask me to add the work log. So far, I have worked on this ticket and I know what I have done. So I will be adding a work log so that the work log can be automatically added in the ticket. So I'm adding a work log here. So this feature will be available if you're integrating the Desktop Central with one of our another product called Service Desk Plus, which is a ticketing tool. So we have an option to integrate that. So if you want to enable that option to automatically add the work log, you can go here, this admin tab, you can use the Service Desk Plus setting, and you can enable this option here, add work log notes resolution for remote connection. Okay, so for now I have enabled this, so I have successfully added the note here. Okay, so if I wanted to search or if I wanted to check that on the Service Desk portal, I can directly log into the Service Desk portal, and I'll be logging in here as an administrator. Okay, sorry, I'm taking it again. Okay, here we go. So now I can go to the request tab and I can search based on the request name. So easier search here. And here's the ticket ID that I have worked on. So I can click here and I can see the work log automatically added. So I can click on the task and I can see the work log automatically added. We can also see the start time and end time. So this is an added advantage. Okay, so that's all about it. I can close this for now. Okay, right. So let me move back to the presentation. So far we have seen how remote control can be used practically. So let's see how it worked really in the background. So let's assume the technician 1 is John and 2 as Peter and target client as the end user Bob. So technician 1 sends a request to connect to Bob's computer. He logs into his console, clicks and connect. So the request will be forwarded to the Desktop Central server. So the Desktop Central server has two components, gateway component and notification server component. So this notification server component will be forwarding the request to the Desktop Central agent on the client machine. So this client machine will have the agents installed already, and that agent will invoke the remote control services. So that remote control services will capture the images of the client computer and it will transmit them to the Desktop Central server. So again, the gateway component in Desktop Central server will transmit that images to the respective technician. Likewise, if the second technician is going to connect, he is going to click on connect, and automatically the gateway component detects there is an automatic session running, so it will automatically transmit the captured images to the second technicians as well. So this is how remote control works in the background. Okay, so far we have discussed on what is user confirmation and how to choose the different viewers and how to use the options like backend monitor, lock keyboard mouse, and even we have seen how to transfer file using file transfer and multi-viewer and collaborative mode. So if you guys have any questions on this first example, you can write your questions in the chat. So we have an expert panel, so they will answer questions. Okay, so let us move on to the second real-time example, troubleshooting system slowness. So this is the most common issue in PCs now. So let's see how or what are all the options available in Desktop Central to troubleshoot on. So before this, so let's consider the scenario here. So assume that my manager, right, his name is Mark, is sending in a request to me or sending a ticket again. So stating that his computer is very slow. So the ticket is assigned to the technician, John, just me again. So I'm going to assist my manager, Mark, to resolve the system slowness issue. So let's see what are all the options available in Desktop Central and how we can utilize that. Okay, usually in a conventional way, we will be normally using a remote control feature to log into the agent's computer, the user's computer, and we'll troubleshoot. Or we normally call the end user and we'll troubleshoot over the phone. In both the cases, ultimately you'll be disturbing the end user who's going to work on that computer. So is there a way to avoid disturbing the user and troubleshoot on this? Yes, we definitely have an option here in Desktop Central. So let me tell you what is the option here. So let me move back to Desktop Central. So in Desktop Central, I'm clicking on Remove Tools here. So here we have this option called System Manager. Okay, so this is an option which will help me to troubleshoot on any issues in the background without disturbing the end user. So let's see how. So for now, I know the end user, Mark, is using this computer. So if I wanted to search, I can go for this admin tab here, and I can search from here to find which is the computer that Mark is using. So if I want, I can search it from here. So now I already know that this is a computer that Mark is using. So I can go ahead and click on this Manage option here. So this will bring me this menu here. So I can go ahead and click on Processes here. So this is the window that I can see here. Okay, so it will take a few minutes to do a quick real-time scan. So I'm going into the full screen mode. Okay, so here we can see the logged on user. So Mark, the user here. So he's currently working on that computer. So I'm going to search. So since this is a system slowness issue, I'm going to check for any unwanted processes running first. So if I have anything here, I can click and close that or end that process. Likewise, if I wanted to search for any services, if I wanted to disable any services, I can use this tab. I can explore it. I can use this option to start, restart, stop, or even I can disable the service permanently. And otherwise, I can use this command prompt to run any command prompt. So this is like an additional feature that you can use for different other scenarios as well. If you wanted to run any command instantly, you can use it. And registry, this will give you an option to explore the registry contents. So you can add a value, you can delete a value, or you can modify a value. So all those options are available here. So file manager. So this is another important feature that we have recently added. So this will automatically help me to see the number of files or what are all the files that the end user is having. So I can navigate to the drives that the end user has, and I can navigate here. And I can see this. If I wanted to export this as a report, I can export this as a report here. Or if I wanted to download any file, I can use this option and I can download any file. Or even if I wanted to add or create a folder, add a file, and I can use this. If I wanted to browse and transfer a file, I can even transfer a file using this option as well. So these are all the available options here. And when it comes to file manager and command prompt, so to enhance the security, so we have introduced a new feature called security for these two features alone. So I'm minimizing this and going into the Desktop Central console, and I'm clicking on admin here. So when you go here in the bottom, you will see this system manager settings. So which is specifically for this file manager and command prompt. So you can use this option. You can set the permission level for the users. So if you wanted to enable for all users or enable only for admin, disable for all users, permanently disable for all users. So all these three options, all those options are available. So the same is applicable for command prompt as well. you can very well use this based on your requirement. Okay, so let me move on to the system manager screen again. Okay, so apart from this, we have event viewer, so you can quickly go through all the event logs. Also, if you want to search for anything specifically, you can use this filters. You can search for it here. Or even the device manager. This is a new, brand new feature introduced in the latest versions. So you do not have to log into this computer to check the devices and drivers. So you can use this option to see what are all the drivers installed on that computer. If you want to disable it, you can disable it permanently from there. So even shares, so this will provide me an option to view the shares created on that computer. Likewise, printers will list the complete list of printers mapped into that computer. I can export that as a report as well. And groups will allow me to even modify the groups, and also I can export as a report, or I can add a group, or I can do any modification to the existing group, like I can add a member to a group and all that. So these are all like pretty much straightforward. The next is the software tab. So if I find any unwanted applications running on end user's computer, I can go ahead and uninstall it. So these options can be used here. So again, users will again list me the number of users connected to that computer or currently logged in. So I can see the status of that user account as well. Right. So now this is all about the system manager. So for now, I have checked the processor services, and I do not see any considerable processes or which is going to be causing the system slowness issue. So now I'm closing this window. So what are the other options? So conventionally, so first we'll check the in the task manager, we'll check the processes and we'll end the unwanted process. And next we'll go for clearing the temporary files, unwanted files. So is there an option in Desktop Center to do this in a centralized control manner? Yes, we do have this option. So we have this option called System Tools, using which you can do all this. So now I can use this option here in modifying this task. So these are all the three options. So you might already come across this. So this is a standard Windows tool. So the added advantage here is that we provide this option to have a centralized control over this task, and you have this option to schedule this task, right, to run multiple times. So that is an added advantage and the options that we provide here. Right. So now check disk option. So first I'm going to configure the check disk option. So I can directly click on next. So it will allow me to choose what kind of options that I want to use. I can choose the drives and all that. And next I can click here. I can move on to the next option, which is disk cleanup. So in which I have an option to choose what kind of files that I want to clean. So if it is only going to be a temporary files cleanup, I can use this, or I can choose these options based on my requirement. I can click on next here, and here disk defragmenter. So if I wanted to defragment the disk, I can use this option. I can even choose multiple disks at the same time to defragment. So all these options are self-explanatory. If you wanted to know more about this, you can use this help option, and you can see what these options are all about. So for example, so this is if the end user is going to be working on that computer, then you can use this low priority mode, which will not utilize more resources on that computer. Otherwise, you can go for a normal priority. Okay, so now I can click on next. And here, this is an option for defining the targets. So I can choose a target based on my remote office, or even I can choose a target based to my entire domain. So for now, I'm choosing this based on my 3 remote offices. So I can use the sub-filters to target the computers also. So if it is required, if I wanted to specify any specific computers, then I can use it here. Okay, right. So for now, I have specified it, and I'm clicking on this, and I'm clicking on next here. Okay. So here is another important feature, which is a configure scheduler. So as I told you, this is an added advantage here. So first, in the general tab, we will provide an option to choose the user account in whose permission this task has to be executed. So for now, I'm using this administrator mode. So if you wish to use a different user account, we can use it. Right. And we have other inbuilt options to choose run only when the user is logged in, and all these options are predefined, and you can make use of this. And trigger option. So this is another feature here. So if I wanted to execute this task on a specific day, only one, I can use this. or I can choose days. I can set this to automatically happen every day, every week, a monthly basis, or even at an event system startup, at log on. So all these options are available. So even advanced settings will help me in other additional settings here. So I can delay the task, repeat this task for every 1 hour or something. So these are all additional options here. And apart from this condition, so as you see, there is two categories here, idle condition and power management condition. So if you wanted to start this task, if the computer is idle for a few minutes or hours, and I can use it. Or even I can define if my laptop is, if the end user's laptop is running in battery, to not run this. So I can define it here. Okay. So for now, I can click on finish, or I can click on this quick visit. So I have successfully configured the task now. So this task will be executed based on the schedule. Okay. Right. So now I have manually checked the task manager like using the system manager, and I'm unable to find any possible causes. So I have scheduled the task to delete the unwanted temporary files and all that. So I'm going to tell the user, Mark, like he's my manager. So I'm going to tell him that to observe the performance of the computer for a few days, and I want him to report me back after a few days. So for this, so since he is my manager, I do not wish to use this live chat option, the text chat option. So instead, I can go ahead and use this video call option. So let me see how we can use this. So here is the Mark, the username Mark here. I can click on this video call option. So this will automatically initiate a video call. There we go. So the end user will have a small pop-up on the screen to click on accept. So once it is accepted, then I'll be able to see the screen now. Okay. So for now, I'm disconnecting this. So I can click on. So now I have told Mark to report me the status after checking the performance. So he agreed. Okay. So now I'm going to close this ticket. So right. So now we have come to end of the second example. So we have seen how task manager and services can be checked using the option called System Manager, and even we see how to explore the event logs and how to use remote control. And we also schedule a task for check this and this cleanup. Right. So if you guys have any questions on this example, please feel free to type your questions in chat. Okay. So let us move on to the third example, which is enforcing IT policies on desktops. Okay, this is a very important feature in every IT industry. So let's assume another scenario here. So in my organization, they're planning to reduce the utilization of the power. So they are planning to shut down the machines after the production hours, and also they are planning to wake up the machines before the production hours. So how I can do it using this Desktop Central? So is there an option to do this? Yes, we have an option to do this using Desktop Central. So let's see how. So I'm moving back to the Desktop Central console. And again, clicking on Tools. So we have two options, Remote Shutdown and Wake On App. So first we'll see Remote Shutdown. So as a name implies, so this is going to invoke the Remote Shutdown command on the end user's computer, which will automatically shut down the computer. Okay. So if I wanted to instantly invoke that command, I can use this option and I can instantly invoke it. So not only shutdown, we have other options like restart, hibernate, and wipe our computer. In this scenario, I'm going to use only shutdown. So this is for instant remote shutdown. So what if I want to schedule a task to automatically happen at a particular date every day? So I can use this task, schedule task option. I can create a task, and I can set this option to shutdown, and I can schedule the other option. So whether I wanted to force shutdown, or if I wanted to allow the users to skip the shutdown or reboot, I have options. If the user is already logged in, we can automatically skip without even checking for a permission. So you can customize your message that you want to display, and you can set your idle time settings. And again, target computers. So you may have to manually add the computers in which you wanted to invoke this. So I can add it in two ways here. So first, if I wanted to add it in a computer base, I can choose the computers individually, or I can directly use this custom group option. So what is this custom group? Okay, So let me move back again and opening in the admin tab in a new tab. And I'm clicking on this custom group here. So in this admin tab, you have this custom group in this global settings. So what is this custom group is all about? So I already have all custom groups created. So for now, if I wanted to create a new custom group, I can use this option and I can create a new custom group. I can give a name for it and I can choose what type of, what category of custom group that I want to use. So we have three categories: static, unique, and dynamic. So I can use any one that I need. So static is something that you can manually choose the computers and you can add it. And static unique is also going to be the same, but the advantage here is if a computer is already added in another static unique group, the same computer cannot be added in another static unique group. So that's an advantage here. So this is optional. You can use it whenever it is required. Okay, so dynamic custom group is another important feature. So instead of manually choosing the computers and adding to the group, you can use this dynamic group option. You can set the filter, like the logics, right? You can choose even multiple logics, and you can set your own criteria. So based on that, for instance, if I wanted to set the logic based on operating system, then I can choose it here. So whatever the computer has, Windows 2012 server operating system, so all these computers will be added in my test group. So this is all about the custom group. Okay, so if I already have a custom group created, then I can choose that specific custom group for this to be invoked, and I can go ahead and invoke the schedule task. And another option here is configure scheduler, so using which I can directly configure when I need to execute this task, perform this every day, alternate days or weekdays or whatever. I can even choose the options based on my requirement. Okay. There we go. So now I have scheduled a task to shut down the machines after my production hours. Likewise, also I need to wake up the machines before the production hours, for which I can use this wake online option. Okay, so before we move further into this wake online option, so let me tell you about the basic requirements to use this wake online option. So first, you need to have this wake online option enabled on the BIOS level. Right? So that has to be done manually on your computer. Next, you also need to enable that on the network adapter settings. So we have an option to enable that on the network adapter settings. So in this settings icon, you can use this option to enable wake on LAN settings in agent. So using the same agent, desktop central agent, you can enable this option in the network adapter settings. So both these options are enabled, then you can go ahead and use this. So now similarly, I can add the computers to this list here, and I can invoke the wake up command instantly. Or similarly, if I want to schedule, I can schedule a task here using this schedule task option. So likewise, so I can schedule, I can define what port that I need to use and wake up time, right? So waiting time for the wake up of the machine. I can choose the target computers for the schedule task. And similarly, you can configure this schedule time here. Okay, so now we have successfully configured two tasks to wake up the machines and shut down the machine. Okay, so in an auditing perspective, if I wanted to export this as a report, then I can go ahead and use this reporting option here, the report section, in which we have this option called Power Management Report, in which you have this option called System Uptime Report, using which you can export a report which will provide you an option like total uptime and the total downtime. You can see all these options that are available. You can filter based on domain or even custom groups. So this is an additional feature available for auditing purpose. Okay, so for now we have come to the end of this third example. So we have seen all these examples shown on the screen, like remote shutdown, the wake on LAN, and we have seen how to schedule this task, and we have seen how to use the custom group and power management report. Okay, so let us move on to the next and the last real-time example. Okay, so let us consider that in my organization, Microsoft Exchange server is down. So in this case, the users will automatically start contacting my Helpdesk technician. So this will avoid, so this will create unnecessary load in the phone calls. So to avoid this, I can inform the end users that we are already working on it. Okay, so I cannot send email at this time. So what are all the options in Desktop Central to notify the users about it? Okay, so let's see what are all the options here. So I can go to tools again. So in this we have this option called announcement. So this announcement feature allows me an option to publish a message to the end user's computer. So for now I'll use this task where I already have the message typed in. So I can publish this message saying that we are already working on this Microsoft Exchange problem, so you do not have to create any ticket. Right. So I can set this message on my phone, based on my need, and I can set the announcement time, so show time, so start time and end time for this announcement. So and also I can set frequency, only once or multiple times. If it's going to be multiple times, every 10 minutes, or I can even choose multiple options here. Next, I will be targeting this based on the users. So I can target this to the entire remote office. I can choose multiple remote office using this browse option, or I can target it to all users in the domain, or even I can target to a specific custom group. Okay, and also if I wanted to set this for a specific users, then I can use a specific users alone. So these options are available for me. Okay, right. So I have published this message to announcement. So here is the window how the end user will see this message. So this is a screenshot captured from one of the end users. So this is how you will see it. Okay, right. So now we have come to the end of the examples. Here's an example. So let us move on to the next section, which is scenarios and solutions. So before that, if you guys have any questions on the 4 real-time examples that we discussed so far, you can write your questions in chat. So we'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, right. So let's move on to the next section, scenarios and solutions. So in this section, we're going to see about a few other real-time scenarios that we came across in our support experience. So this will be very interesting. So we'll move on further. So scenario 1. So how do I measure the time spent by technicians who are handling tickets related to desktop? Okay. So we have a simple option here. So basically we have 2 options. So first option is in this tool section, you can go to remote control, you can use this history tab where it will automatically list you the complete list of history, who has worked, who's the technician initiated the last session, and start time and end time, and the total duration spent on it. So this can be exported as a report. And additionally, as we discussed before, even in this service desk portal, you'll be able to see this in this work log category, so which will automatically tell you what is the start time and the end time that the remote session has been used, and who has used this remote session, and the total duration. So these are all the options available. Okay, let me move back to the next scenario. So we would like to monitor the activities of the students in our school without their knowledge. Is this possible? Yes. So this is like a stealth mode. I do not want the end user to disclose that I'm using his computer. So I want to silently monitor that. So how I can do that? So for this, first you need to enable the settings here. So in this remote control tool option here, so you have this option called settings. In this, you have this option called notify end users about remote connection. So if you disable this, so the end user will not know, who's controlling his screen or who's seeing the screen. Okay, and obviously, so since this is not going to be a control, so you need to enable this view only mode. So this avoids you from interrupting the user by mistake, right? And the next option here is this user confirmation. So if you enable this option, this will obviously going to seek permission from the end user. So that is not the ultimate aim here. So you can uncheck this option so that the end user will not get any prompt. Okay, right. So that answers this second scenario. Right. So scenario number 3. So we are a healthcare company that needs to be compliant with certain regulations such as HIPAA. Yes. So we have an option for this in Desktop Central. So as we've seen before, so user confirmation is an option which is used for the HIPAA compliance perspective. So based on the HIPAA compliance, you need to seek permission from the end user to access this computer. Right. So for this, you can enable this option, and you can even customize your message that you want to display on the end user computer, and you can even put this time off setting. So these options are available to you. Okay. Right. So next scenario, installing and configuring IIS on a remote machine is complex. I want to document this process. Use it as a training material for our newcomers. Is this possible? Yes, definitely this is possible. So we have an option called screen recording in Desktop Central itself. So when you're working on a remote control, before you connect into a remote control, you need to enable this screen recording if this is not going to be a permanent setting. And you can record the complete session that you're going to work on the remote control. So you will be able to download that videos. So the hyperlinks will be available for you whenever there is a video available for you to download. Even if you wanted to secure this video, then you can use the secure downloading option. So if you enable this, only administrator can download this videos. So this is a new feature that we have introduced, and this is going to be an additional security measure. Okay. Scenario number 5. So I find my remote sessions are slow when I am accessing a computer in different country and roaming users. So how do I fix this? Yes, we do have option to customize this compression quality and all that. So you can go to Tools section, Remote Control again, and click on Performance. So in this tab, you have this option to customize the compression level and the color quality. So if there is going to be a roaming users group, I can set this to the compression level for fast or fast, and I can set this to low. So this will reduce the lag in the remote control. Okay, right. So next, one of the employees suspects an unauthorized remote access to his or her machine has raised, and this has been raised to the IT manager. So is there a way to audit the remote connections to her or his machine? Yes, we do have an option to audit this. So we have already seen this in a scenario. So in this history tab, you'll be able to see all this detail. You can use this for auditing purpose. Okay. So let me move on to the next section. Okay, right. So the next section is going to be the questions. So in this, we're going to discuss about the frequently asked questions. Okay, so let's move on. So question number 1, I'm running Desktop Central app on my mobile device. Can I initiate remote control via app? Yes, we do have this option here. To start with, so we have mobile app feature. So the mobile app feature is available for iOS devices and Android devices. You can download them and you can configure the server settings here. And using this application, you will be able to initiate a remote session from the mobile application itself. Right. So here's a screenshot of it. So you can install the application. You can use this remote control feature here, and you can search for a computer and you can click on connect. You can type the reason. So this is an option here. And the next screen will be providing you a small overview on the gestures. So what are all the gestures that I can use and all that. And yeah, so after that, you will be able to control and do anything on that remote mission. So this is an additional option here. So question number 2. But does the screen recording need to be turned on before you establish the remote control session, or can it be turned on during the session? Yeah, so this screen recording option has to be enabled before you move on to the remote control. So that is the option. So you need to use this option to enable this screen recording, and this has to be turned on before you initiate a remote session. Okay, so question number 3. To allow multiple technicians to work on same remote connection, does that require additional licenses to ManageEngine? No, this does not require any additional licenses. Okay, question number 5. Will the remote control automatically reconnect after a reboot during the session? Yes. During the remote control, if you invoke this reboot option here, it will automatically going to reconnect. So it is basically going to be a reboot and reconnect. Okay. Right. So question number 6. my remote control screen shows port 8443 conflict. How do I resolve it? Okay, so here, this issue mostly happens when this port is not available in your network. So probably this port might be used by a different application. In that case, you might see this error message. So how to overcome this? So for this, you can go to Tools section again, and you can go to, in this Tools section, you have this port settings option on the right-hand side. So in this port settings, you will have this option to customize or change the ports that you want to use. So you can use this predefined. You can change the predefined ports. So if you want to use anything else, okay. So this is the answer to this question. Yes, you can change it. Right. So question number 6. So is it possible to take remote control of a roaming user? Yes. So yes, you can definitely take remote control of a roaming user as long as the computer is going to be connecting to this remote to the desktop server. So you'll be whenever you go to this remote control section, you'll be able to see the status of the computer before. So if it is going to be a roaming user and if it is going to be a green in color, you will be able to take a remote control. Okay. So last question. So if you have a keyboard mouse disabled, does it automatically disable for the new text sharing the session? No. So this keyboard mouse disable option is only for the end user. So this will not disable the option or the keyboard and mouse for the new technician who will share the screen. Okay. So finally, we have come to the end of this training today. And I hope you guys enjoyed the training and hope this was informative. So if you guys like this training, please do rate us on a scale of 1 to 5, so whereas 5 is the best. Okay. And also, you can spread a word about this training in your social media using this taglines. Okay. So you can stay tuned for the next training schedule, which will be on February 21st, which is going to be on configurations and hidden tricks. Okay. So that's it for today, guys. And so thank you very much for joining this webinar session once again, and have a very great day. Thank you.